Welcome to the channel about news from around the world. While you subscribe and like it, we're going to start.
Brussels is preparing to host the participants of the EU Latin America Summit, counting on the understanding and cooperativeness of high-ranking guests from across the ocean, who need a trade agreement with Europe. But in response to the European leaders' attempt to impose their own assessments of the international situation and prospects for cooperation on the future guests, they have already managed to present Europeans with several unpleasant surprises. From the agenda of the meeting proposed by the Old World, all mention of support for Ukraine has been removed, and instead the Latin American leaders propose to jointly declare a diplomatic solution to the current conflict in Europe through peaceful means that guarantee sovereignty and security for all. That is, for Russia, whose security guarantees NATO and the European Union actually refused to discuss at the time. Moreover, the future guests of Brussels propose to discuss the payment of compensation by European powers for the damage caused in the past by the slave trade and slavery. Thus, the heads of state and government of the 33 countries of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean states acted in a kind of tandem with the African countries that had previously made similar demands, apparently intending to add their own figures to the unannounced amounts of compensation to Africans. A number of European countries have officially apologized to Africans for the slave trade, but of course, the European Union does not want to talk about the amounts of compensation or the satisfaction of similar demands of Latin America. And not only because of the huge sums of money involved, but also because of the extremely uncomfortable for Europeans change in the tone of the entire content of the discussions. The EU is turning from a senior partner, which has given itself the right to lecture the junior ones, into a defendant on charges of past crimes against humanity. But in any case, the fact that the former European colonies are making demands for compensation for the slave trade and the obvious changes in the tone of the conversation with the West testify to the crisis in its relations with the states of the developing world, which intend to use the difficult situation of the former metropolises to their maximum advantage. The exchange of views on the agenda of the upcoming EU-CELAC summit on the 17th of July, which promises to be fascinating for spectators and very difficult for European politicians, should have remained confidential. But according to the tradition in Brussels, such documents are rapidly leaked to the media. This time too, the content of the Latin American colleagues' response, which was unexpectedly harsh for European leaders, soon found itself on the pages of several publications and is already being commented on by observers. They note that Latin American countries refuse to recognize themselves as a junior party to the negotiations.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested, subscribe and leave a comment.